Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantu Punah Punaha Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namah Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time the shloka number 294 we had stopped. So from 295 shloka number, verse number, we will commence today. In this set of shlokas, as was told last time, Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada is giving clear-cut picture about the real aham and the false aham. The false aham is identifying myself normally as my, me, my concept, I concept. I am. So I have a status, I have a name, I have individuality. So it is called as Sharira Abhimana in Sanskrit, in simple words. Sharira Abhimana or Swabhimana. So either way, Swabhimana, Sharira Abhimana means the pseudo I, myself. Yes, I am this. I have a name. I have a status. So usually this is called aham, ahamkara, Sanskritam word. So when this aham, this individuality concept, swells in the mind due to your, what we call, popularity, your celebrity status, wealthy status, political status, then what happens? The same pseudo I, aham, results in super ahankara, what we call as a pride, garva, dambha. These are the words in Sanskrit. So the person is associated with the excessive garva, pride, or dambha. So all come under the same word aham, ahankara. So this is what we think I am. But Acharya in the last set of shlokas is making very clear the real I is something different. The real I is eternal. It is present as Sakshi Chaitanya. It is the Pratyagatma in this gross and the subtle body. It is beyond the mind. It is beyond your intellect. It is beyond the indriyas. No indriyas can grasp. The mind cannot understand. The intellect cannot decipher to know what this real life. So that is the Pratyagatma, or the inner supreme consciousness, the supreme cosmic consciousness. That is a real I, that is a real aham. So he was differentiating the two, and he was all the time telling about this, the normal ahankar, the ego factor as it is called. So this normal aham is the ego, the simplest English word, which is almost nearer to this. So we are all endowed with the ego from birth. So he Acharya is telling about this ego only. Because of the ego, samsara continues. See, our birth, death, rebirth cycle continues. We are caught up because of the ego. So until this ego is totally annihilated, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇರುವವರೆಗೆ, ನಾನು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇರುವವರೆಗೆ ಸಂಸಾರ ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಜನನ ಮರಣ ಚಕ್ರ ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಹೊರಗಿನ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಹೊರಗಿನ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರವನ್ನು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವಳು, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಇದು, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವರೆಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, I am born to so and so parents, my name is so and so, now I am a big businessman, I am a big politician, I am a big tycoon, I am a multi-millionaire, I am an ordinary person, I am a man, I am a woman. So this is mithya ahankara, false, pseudo ahankara. This has to be removed. This results in continuation of samsara. This is what Acharya is hinting now in these sets of slokas. Ato abhimanam tyajamam sapinde pindabhimaninyapi buddhi kalpite kalatraya badhyam akhanda bodham jnatva swamatmanam upaihi shantim. Ato abhimanam tyajamam sapinde pindabhimanini api buddhi kalpite ಕಾಲತ್ರಯ ಅಬಾಧ್ಯಂ ಅಖಂಡಬೋಧಂ ಜ್ಞಾತ್ವಾ ಸ್ವಮಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಉಪೈಹಿ ಶಾಂತಿಂ. So he is giving again injunction, clear direction to the disciple. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಮಾಂಸಪಿಂಡೆ ಅಭಿಮಾನಂ ತ್ಯಜ. ಅತಃ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ, ಇದು ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೇಹ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮಾಂಸಮಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪಿಂಡ ಶರೀರದ ಮೇಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡು. ಹಾಗೆ ಪಿಂಡಾಭಿಮಾನಿನಿ ಅಪಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಕಲ್ಪಿತೆ. ಇದು ನಾನು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಈ ಶರೀರದ ಅಭಿಮಾನ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಥವಾ ಚಿತ್ತದ ಮೂಲಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂತಃಕರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆ, ನಾನು 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 ನಾನು. ಇದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡು. ಕಾಲತ್ರಯ ಬಾಧ್ಯಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಬೋಧಂ ಜ್ಞಾತ್ವಾ ಸುಮಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಉಪೈಹಿ ಶಾಂತಿಂ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಶಾಶ್ವತವಾದಂತಹ ಈ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಅಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನ, ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಮೀಕರಣವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿನ್ನ ನಿಜರೂಪವನ್ನ, ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಖಂಡ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮನೇ ನೀನು ಅಂತ ನಿನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನು ಅರಿತುಕೊಂಡು ಶಾಂತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದು, ವೈಹಿ ಶಾಂತಿಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ತ್ಯಜ ಮಾಂಸಪಿಂಡೇ ಅತಃ ಅಭಿಮಾನಂ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ನೌ give up your identification with this body, which is nothing but a baggage of muscles and bones and nerves and blood vessels. So tyaja mamsapinde abhimanam. Abhimanam tyaja. Give up your identification that you are the body. The body full of muscles, bones, blood vessels, etc., etc. Give up that. Pindabhimanini manini api buddhi kalpite. So your mind along with the intellect has confused that you are this body only. It's all buddhi kalpita. It's only an imagination in your mind. So remember, kalatraya abhadhyam akhanda bodham jnatva sumatmanam akhanda bodham kalatraya abhadhyam jnatva upaihi shantim. So reject your body-mind complex, thinking that that is yourself. No, you are not that. You are that real Atma Swarupa, which is beyond Kalatraya past, present, future. It is beyond the time, space, continuum. It is always eternal. You are that Atma Swarupa, always eternal. No change. You are not the body. You are that Pratyagatma. So remember that in that reality, always abide by in your own real nature. Your real nature is you are that unexplainable, undestructible, always present, eternally present, without birth and death, Atma Swarupa. You are that Paramatma Swarupa. You are that Pratyagatma. Remember that and be contented and be blissful, Acharya says. He continues the same thing. The next sloka, same point, next sloka. त्यजाभिमानं कुलगोत्रनाम रूपाश्रमेष्वार्द्रशवाश्रितेषु लिङ्गस्य धर्मानपि कर्तृतादीं त्यक्त्वा भव अखण्डसुखस्वरूपः. त्यजाभिमानं means tyaja plus abhimanam. त्यजाभिमानं कुलगोत्रनाम रूपाश्रमेष्वार्द्रशवाश्रितेषु रूपाश्रमेषु आर्द्रशवाश्रितेषु. If you split correctly. लिङ्गस्य धर्मानपि कर्ततादीं त्यक्त्वा भव अखण्डसुखस्वरूपः. Again, Acharya's injunction to the Shishya. What is that injunction? All the time. Bhava akhanda sukha swarupa. Lingasya dharmanapi kartratadim tyaktva bhava akhanda sukha swarupa. That is the final injunction in the last charana of the shloka. So what Acharya says here? Kula gotra nama rupa abhimanam ashrameshu ardra shavashriteshu tyaja. Now he is using a very interesting simile here. Acharya really ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಪಡ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು 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 ಅಂತ, ಈ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಏನು? ಇದು ಉಸಿರಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಶವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಉಸಿರಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಶವ, ಇದನ್ನ ನೀನು ನಾನು ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಮ, ಕುಲ, ಗೋತ್ರ, ರೂಪ, ಆಶ್ರಮ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ವರ್ಣಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಉಸಿರಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪಾರ್ಥಿವ ಶರೀರ, ಶವವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ದೇಹ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ನನ್ನ ರೂಪ ಹೀಗಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಗಂಡು, ನಾನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು, ನಾನು ಇಂಥ ಕುಲ, ಇಂಥ ಗೋತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು, ನಾನು ಈ ಆಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನಾನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಚಾರಿ, ನಾನು ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ, ನಾನು ವಾನಪ್ರಸ್ಥಿ, ನಾನು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಶ್ರಮಗಳ ವಿಧಿಗಳು, ಆಯಾ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಗಳು. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬಿಡು. ಲಿಂಗಸ್ಯ ಧರ್ಮಾನಪಿ ಕರ್ತತಾದೀನ್. ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವವನು, ನಾನು ಕರ್ತ, ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಶರೀರದ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಚಿತ್ತ, ಅಹಂಕಾರಗಳನ್ನಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಲಿಂಗ ಶರೀರ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀನು ಅದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲಿಂಗ ಶರೀರವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಶರೀರವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಕರ್ತಾನೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವುದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ನೀನು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾಮ, ರೂಪ, ಕುಲ, ಗೋತ್ರ ಅವ್ಯಾವುದೂ ನೀನಲ್ಲ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಹಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ ನಿನ್ನ ಬದುಕಿರುವ, ಉಸಿರಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಶವಕ್ಕೆ ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಧಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. So the Acharya is using a beautiful simile we can call, or a beautiful what we call a sort of a alankar. He identifies this body. He tells the disciple, look, this body, whom you identify that you are so and so, this is a living corpse. He says, Ardra Shavashiteshu. Ardra Shava means living corpse, breathing corpse. It is a breathing dead body. He uses the word Ardra Shava. Why he says Ardra Shava? He wants to hammer this point very clearly to the disciple. that you are respiring today, you are breathing today. Because of the continuous respiration, breathing, your body is surviving because of the pranavayu, because of pancha prana sanchara in the body. But remember, this body is not permanent. Today or tomorrow, this body will go away. It has to die. Prana sanchara will stop, breathing will stop. So once the breathing stops, what happens? You are not identified by your name. You are identified as a dead body. Parthiva Sharira, Kalevara. So, in the real sense, now you say you are living. Actually, you are a breathing corpse. So, a sort of a pun, a sort of a sarcastic way of Acharya hammering again, pointedly, repeatedly telling his disciple, why are you so attached to the body, physical body? You are attached to your beauty, Rupa, attached to the name, Nama, attached to your clan, Kula, Gotra. You belong to so and so particular clan, particular caste, particular Varna, and you are attached to your ashrama, Avastha. I am a brahmachari, I am a grahastha, I am a vanaprasthi, or I am a sannyasi. These are all different stages, ashramas as they are called. So you are identifying only with these things which are not permanent. They are passing, they are moment. They are connected with your body from birth to death at different stages, different levels. So give up all those things. Tyaja abhimanam in your kula, gotra, nama, rupa. Give up. They are there in materialistic world so that your life can continue. As long as prarabdha is there, your body has to survive. So something is given. A name is given. A form is given. You are identified. Okay. That is only Vyavaharika Satya. In reality, what is that? In reality, you are not that. So that is the point Acharya is hammering. So lingasya dharmanapi kartadadim tyaktva bhava akhanda sukha swarupa. So you are not even subtle body. You are not even karta. You are not even doer. So that is the greatest advice Acharya is giving. He says, Tyaja kartadadim. Tyaktva means give up. By giving up your doership. I am doer, I am doing the karma. I am. So that feeling of karta, aham, karta, you give up that. That feeling of I am doing comes because you are identifying with the body. Once you know that I am doing something, some action, some karma, consequently, what happens? You have to face the music, the good and the bad fruits of the karma you perform. So the moment we identify with our action, karma, it becomes binding. Karma bandhana occurs. The binding takes place and we have to eat the fruit of our own karma. The reward will be there whether we like or not. If I do good karma, good rewards. If I do bad karma, bad action, bad rewards. So Acharya says, give up the identification with your body and also your actions or karma. That is the highest level Upadesha Acharya is giving to the Uttamadhikari. To understand this, it requires a lot of insight. He says, give up the notion that I am the doer. When is it possible? It is possible by the Guru's grace, by continuous sadhana. When the mind is purified, then only when the divinity or Guru Krupa sets in at some level of our individual sadhana, spiritual sadhana, again, only by the grace of the Guru, finally the reality will dawn. Only at the time of the dawn of the reality, individuality is lost, ahankara is lost, swabhimana is lost. Once it is lost, mithya ahankara is broken, annihilated, destroyed, then the doership also vanishes. No more you will say that I am the doer. So you become a pure witness in this samsara, and you will play your part, your role, like a dramatist, an actor plays his role on the stage, knowingly fully well that he is not that person enacting. He is not that character. He is exhibiting on the stage. Inside, he knows who he is, but outside, he is performing all the action sincerely. And he is witnessing his prarabdha to roll out and do the rest of the work. And he is not identifying with his own karma. So there is no more bondage or binding of the karma on such a wise man, a learned man, a noble man, or a jnani as we call. So these are the things we have to remember in these shlokas, what Acharya is hinting at. Next set of shlokas. Acharya now, after explaining this pseudo mithya ahankara, this false I, and that is the root cause for all the problems, root cause for samsara to continue, root cause for rebirth, again rebirth, death, again rebirth. So this continuation of cycle of birth and death, which is the cause for that? Aham, ahankara, pseudo I, false I, this false mithya ahankara is responsible. So he's in the next set of shlokas, Acharya now again concentrates on this false I. He hammers, concentrates on that, and then he goes on negating. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವಳು, ಇದನ್ನ ಪುನಃ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಿಂದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಯಾವತ್ತಿದ್ರೂ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಲ್ಲ. ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಅಹಂಕಾರವನ್ನ ಮೊದಲು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಭಾವ. ಸಂತ್ಯನ್ಯೇ ಪ್ರತಿಬಂಧಾಃ ಪುಂಸಃ ಸಂಸಾರ ಹೇತುವೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಾಃ ತೇಷಾಮೇವಂ ಮೂಲಂ ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಕಾರೋ ಭವತಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರಃ. ಸಂತ್ಯನ್ಯೇ ಪ್ರತಿಬಂಧಾಃ ಪುಂಸಃ ಸಂಸಾರ ಹೇತುವೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಾಃ ತೇಷಾಮೇವಂ ಮೂಲಂ ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಕಾರೋ ಭವತಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರಃ. Keywords, second charana. ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಕಾರಃ ಭವತಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರಃ. ಅಹಂಕಾರಃ ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಕಾರ ಭವತಿ. The very first, the foremost hindrance, the foremost obstacle in the path of the sadhana, in the path of realization is this greatest obstacle is ahankara. That's what Acharya says. ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನಕ್ಕೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟೋ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿದೆ. ಬಂಧನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ? ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಅಡಚಣೆಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಈ ಮೂಲ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವಳು, ಇದು ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಕಾರ. ಇದು ಪ್ರಥಮ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಗುರುತರವಾದ ಅಡಚಣೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಸಂಸಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ. ಸೊ there are so many obstacles for the continuation of samsara, to be in the cycle of birth and death. Like, say for example, your desires, kama, passion, lust, greed, hatredness, anger, jealousy. So these are all mental modifications. So many points are there. They are all obstacles. They are responsible for continuation of samsara. So among all such pratibandhas, obstacles, ahankara is the first one. It is a root, the root obstacle, the most important obstacle for you to be in samsara, to continue in this life cycle of birth and death. Ahankara. Andre, what Acharya says here is, your ego, false ego, this is responsible for your birth, death, rebirth, death, like that. So you are caught up in this cycle. Caught up in the cycle. The root cause is aham, ahankara, false, mithyabhimana, sharirabhimana, swabhimana. यावत् स्यात् स्वस्य सम्बन्धो अहंकारेण दुरात्मना तावत् न लेशमात्रापि मुक्तिवार्ता विलक्षणा. यावत् स्यात् स्वस्य सम्बन्धो अहंकारेण दुरात्मना तावत् न लेशमात्रापि मुक्तिवार्ता विलक्षणा. This is a beautiful direct shloka, simple, where Acharya is using very clear-cut phrase, yavat and tavat. So yavat means as long as, tavat means till then. Yavat as long as, tavat till then. Please remember. Yavat syat swasya sambandho ahankareణ duratmana tavat na leshamatrapi mukti varta vilakshana. So as long as there is association of with the ego, when you are associating your body with the ego, as long as you think your ego is supreme, your mithyabhimana, swabhimana, you are that ahankara, as long as the ego is persisting, till then, till such time, till such period, maybe in hundreds of births also, as long as it is your ego is present, till then, either in this life or future life, in this birth or future birth, there can't even be even an iota of realization. So there can't even be the least, the liberation or mukti, which is unique, possible, as long as the ego is persistent. Very simple but powerful message. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಜನ್ಮ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಂದಿನ 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 100 ಜನ್ಮಗಳು, ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಈ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣವಾದಂತಹ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹತ್ತಿರ ಸುಳಿಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ. ನ ಲೇಷ ಮಾತ್ರಾಪಿ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ವಾರ್ತಾ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣ. ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ವಾರ್ತಾ ನ ಲೇಷ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಾವತ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಹೆಸರೇ ನಿನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿನಗೆ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೋಕ್ಷವೇ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥ. Now, in the next shloka, he takes up a simile, or a what we call alankarika shabda he uses. Ahankara grahan muktah swarupamupadyate chandravat vimala purna sadananda swayam prabha. Ahankara grahan muktah swarupam upabadyate Chandravat Vimala Purna Sadananda Swayam Prabha. He is giving an example. Just like Ahankara Grahan Muktaha, keyword. ಗ್ರಹ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಹು ಅಂತನೂ ಅರ್ಥ, ಛಾಯಾಗ್ರಹ. ರಾಹುವಿನಿಂದ ಮುಚ್ಚಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಚಂದ್ರ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಗ್ರಹನ್ಮುಕ್ತ. ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ರಾಹು ಚಂದ್ರನನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಚಂದ್ರಗ್ರಹಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ಪಂಚಾಂಗದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ರಾಹು ಚಂದ್ರನನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಚಂದ್ರಗ್ರಹಣವಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಂದ್ರ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಚಂದ್ರಗ್ರಹಣದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಗ್ರಹ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಹು ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ, ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ, ನಿನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಆ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದು ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪ? ಚಂದ್ರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮುಚ್ಚೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಗ್ರಹಣ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಪೂರ್ಣವು, ವಿಮಲವು, ಸದಾನಂದವು, ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದವು, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರಭ ಅರಂಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಮುಚ್ಚೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎದರಿಂದ? ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ರಾಹುವಿನಿಂದ ಚಂದ್ರ ಮುಚ್ಚಿದಂತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಹೋಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಸಿಮಿಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿ nodal point, the nodal planet called Rahu in the Indian Panchanga, in the Indian astronomy is used, the word Rahu. So just like the Rahu, the nodal planet encompasses during full moon eclipse, so that the moon is completely covered, moon is not visible. Just like that, the ahankar, the false ego, has completely covered your real swarupa, your own swaswarupa, your own reality, your nijaswarupa, your atmaswarupa, covered by ahankar. It is not visible. So your own real swarupa is chandravat vimalah purnah sadanandah swayam prabha acharya. So the swarupa is so blemishless, it is total, it is ananda swarupa, sat swarupa, chit swarupa, ananda swarupa. It is Swayam Prabha, self-shining, self-radiating. All these words are used to denote what cannot be explained. Please remember. Please remember. Why Acharya is using the example of moon eclipse or lunar eclipse here? With a specific intention. Sometimes a doubt will be there in the mind. When our real Swarupa is Atma Swarupa, it is so powerful, eternal, birthless, deathless, nameless, Sarvajna, all pervading, entire cosmos. It is created the whole cosmos, universe. How then it is covered? How it can be suppressed? When it is so powerful, how it can be suppressed? The very definition itself fails. Atma cannot be then powerful. If it is really powerful, how it can be suppressed? If it's really indestructible, it is vast, infinite. It is beyond time, space, continuum. It is beyond past, present, future. Then how it can be? How it can be? How it can be covered or suppressed by an insignificant entity called ego? How? See the question, such questions are there in Vedanta, and elsewhere also Acharya has given the same answer. Even in Vivek Chudamani has given the same answer. See, you take an example which is common example, experienced by everyone, entire world. You take any person. Sun is blazing, sun is there in the sky. Even the science knows how vast diameter, circumference of the sun, how large it is a star, how the 9 planets or 7 planets are revolving around the sun in our own solar system. And compared to the size of the earth or whatever it is, how larger the sun is as a star. Even the science gives all the details. So such a large sized sun, when it is blazing in the sky, antariksha, we are watching it, sun rays falling on the earth, with the mighty sun and its sunlight, sometimes suddenly masked, completely covered when dark clouds hover around the horizon. From one end to one end, the clouds start moving. During that, you must have observed, even in the full daytime between 12 noon to 4, 5 p.m. in the western sky, sometimes a very small, insignificant cloud will be passing through at the angle where the sunlight is coming or the sun is blazing. When the cloud comes around this over the sun, for a viewer on the earth, we see the cloud covering the sun. And then, as long as a cloud is there, the sun is invisible. Please remember the words. As long as a cloud is there on the horizon in our stratosphere, in the atmosphere of the earth, cloud is very insignificant. It is a minuscule dust particle compared to the size of the sun. But ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ತೃಣವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮೋಡ ಮಠ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂರ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ಡವಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತಹ ಪ್ರಖರವಾದ ಸೂರ್ಯನೇ ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಚಂದ್ರ ಮೋಡಗಳು ಅಡ್ಡ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಮೋಡಗಳ ಮರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮೋಡಗಳು ಚೆದರಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. When the cloud pass through, again the sunlight will flash. The sun is visible. Same way. Our own ajnana, our own ahankara, though it is mithya, is non-existent entity, dependent on the body itself, but still it is so powerful due to the effect of Maya. So this mithya sharirabhimana ego has completely covered the real swarupa, the actual swarupa, atma swarupa. I have forgotten myself, the real self, who I am, disconnected from the source. Really, I am Atma Swarupa, Purnatma, but I don't know. Why? Because my ahankara is there. It has covered it. So as long as this ahankara is there, this Sadananda Swayam Prabha Purna Vimalaha Atma Swarupa is invisible. It is suppressed. It is masked. It is covered. That is the point. Same thing he continues in the next shloka. Yo va pure sohamiti pratito buddhya praklaptastamasati modhaya tasyaiva nisheshataya vinashe brahmatma bhava pratibandha shunyah. Yo va pure so ahamiti pratito buddhya praklaptastamasati modhaya tasyaiva nisheshataya vinashe brahmatma bhava pratibandha shunyah. ಯಹವಾ ಪುರೇ ಸೋ ಅಹಮಿತಿ ಪ್ರತೀತಃ. ಈ ಶರೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವಳು, ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದು ತೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶರೀರ. ಈ ಶರೀರವೇ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಈ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಅಹಂಕಾರವನ್ನು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ಅದರ ಅನುಭವ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮ ಐಕ್ಯತ್ವ ಭಾವ, ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮ ಭಾವದ ಅನುಭವ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾಶವಾದಾಗ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ನಾಂದಿ ಹಾಡುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನನ್ನ ನಿಜಸ್ವರೂಪದ ಅರಿವು ನನಗಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅನುಭವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಆತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿ ಇದ್ದು ಬಿಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಈ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾಶವಾದ, ಹೊರಟು ಹೋದಾಗ. So only when this outer I, this I, me, myself, so this outer I, the pseudo I, identifying with the body due to ajnana, due to ignorance, primordial ignorance, due to effect of the Maya, due to avidya, when this I concept is totally removed, destroyed, when this ahankara is destroyed, then what happens? The oneness with the Atma residing inside, the inner consciousness, the supreme Chaitanya, and the Parabrahma Vastu, the oneness with Brahma and Atma. That is called Brahmatma Ekatva Bhava. That automatically happens by itself, by the grace of the Guru, by the grace of the Lord. So when it happens, when the pseudo I, the ego factor, is totally annihilated. Totally annihilated. So without any obstacle or hindrance, that Brahmatma Ekatva Bhava arises inside. So the real Swarupa shines itself. No more you will say, I am the body. No more you will identify consciously with your body, that this body is myself. No more consciously you will say, I am the doer. You become a pure witness, total witness. You will know how your body is functioning. You will witness how your body is acting. You will witness what, according to Prarabdha, body is performing, the functions. And you become a totally pure witness without any desires, without any attachment, without any aversion, with Sarvatma Bhava. Everywhere you see the only one Vastu, Brahma Bhava, Atmanishta Bhava, Brahmanishta Bhava. So you will realize that everything is same Parabrahma Vastu, outside and inside, within and without. Only one thing is pervading all the time. So you become conscious of that and you abide by in that consciousness. In the next shloka, again Acharya is an example for a beautiful alankara, simile. Now he takes a simile or a metaphor, as we call. I'm not a very good at English. I don't have proficiency in the language of English. So I don't know whether you call this a simile or metaphor. Now he takes an example, Acharya, in the next book. Brahmananda Nidirmaha Balavata Ahankara Ghorahina Samveshtyatmani Rakshate Gunamayaishchandai Tribhi Chandai Tribimastakaihi Vijnanakshamaha Dyutimata Vichidya Shirshatrayam Nirmulya Ahimimam Nidhim Sukakaram Dhiro Anubhoktum Kshamaha. It is a fairly long shloka with a different meter, chandas. Brahmananda Nidirmaha Balavata Ahankara Ghorahina Samveshtyatmani Rakshate Gunamayaishchandai Tribirmastakaihi Vijnanakshamaha Dyutimata Vichidya Shirshatrayam Nirmulya Ahimimam Nidhim Sukakaram Dhiro Nubhoktum Kshamaha. ಒಂದು ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಒಂದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಸಾಧಾರಣವಾದ ನಿಧಿಯನ್ನ 3 ಹೆಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕಾಳಿಂಗ ಸರ್ಪ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸುತ್ತಕೊಂಡು, ಆ 3 ಹೆಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆ ಭಯಾನಕವಾದ ವಿಷಪೂರಿತವಾದ ಕಾಳಿಂಗ ಸರ್ಪವನ್ನ 3 ಹೆಡೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೀನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿ ಆ ನಿಧಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನಿನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಎನ್ನೋ ನಿಧಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ, ಪರಮಾನಂದ ಅನ್ನೋ ನಿಧಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ನಿಧಿಯನ್ನ ಸತ್ವ ತಮ ರಜೋ ಈ ಮೂರು ಗುಣಗಳು ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮೂರು ಹೆಡೆಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸರ್ಪ ಅದನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಾಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ. ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಘೋರ ಸರ್ಪ ಸತ್ವ ತಮ ರಜೋ ಗುಣಗಳಿಂದ ಮೂರು ಹೆಡೆಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಎಂಬ ನಿಧಿಯನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತುವರೆದು ಕಾಣದಂತೆ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ರಕ್ಷಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಾಖ್ಯ ಮಹಾ ಅಸೀನ, ನೀನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವೆಂಬ ಈ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಥಳಥಳಿಸುವ ಹರಿತವಾದ ಕತ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಆ ಸರ್ಪದ ಮೂರು ತಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದರೆ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸರ್ಪ ನಾಶವಾದಾಗ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಎನ್ನುವ ನಿಧಿ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೈವಶವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಕ್ಕೂ ಅಂತ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. ಮೂಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಸರ್ಪದ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ, ಅಹಂಕಾರವನ್ನು ಸರ್ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರ್ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂರು ಹೆಡೆ, ಮೂರು ತಲೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಒಂದು ಸತ್ವ, ಒಂದು ತಮಸ್, ಒಂದು ರಜಸ್. ಅಹಂಕಾರದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮೂರು ಗುಣಗಳ ಮಿಶ್ರಣ ಮಾಯೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ಮಾಯೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೂರು ಗುಣಗಳ ಆಟ. ಮಾಯೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತ್ರಿಗುಣಾತ್ಮಿಕ. ಅವ್ಯಕ್ತ ನಾಮ್ನಿ ಪರಮೇಶ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಎನ್ನುವ ಹೆಸರಿನ ಈ ಮಹಾಮಾಯೆ ತ್ರಿಗುಣಾತ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿದೆ. ಸತ್ವ ತಮೋ ರಜೋ ಗುಣಗಳಿಂದ ಆಟ ಆಡಿಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನ. ಆ ಸತ್ವ ತಮೋ ರಜ ಎಂಬ ಈ ಮೂರು ತಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸರ್ಪವನ್ನ ನಿನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಎನ್ನುವ ಕತ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಆ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸರ್ಪ ನಾಶವಾದರೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದು ನಿನಗೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ನಿಧಿ. ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದದ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ನೀನು ಮುಳುಗಿರ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿಜಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀಯ, ನಾನೇ ನಾನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ತಮ್ಮ ಕವಿತೆಯ ಪ್ರೌಢಿಮೆಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. So in this shloka, it is so interesting. Acharya is known, he is a Sarvajna, Sakshat, Shivaswarupa, Brahmaswarupa, Shankara Bhagavatpada. Along with the Bhashyas, the Prasthanatraya, he has written so beautiful, exemplary, with using different poetic meters, wonderful stotras, wonderful poems, long poems, treatises he has written. With excellence in his imagination, with excellence in reproducing the points, with excellence in putting forth very clearly and lucidly and seriously the point. So the Shaili, the narrative of Acharya is usually in Vedanta circles known as Prasanna Gambhira Shaili. Whether it is a prose treatise he has written or pure poetic treatise he has written, Acharya's style is so unique, so fantastic. People like me, who is a great ajnani, a dust particle who doesn't know Sanskritam, how can I explain all these things? It is humanly impossible for me. You have to forgive me for this. If you look into the Saundarya Lahari, what he has written, Shivananda Lahari, what he has written, Moha Mudgarar, Bhajagovindam Stotra, you will know how beautiful similes he is using, metaphors he is using, which are unique in Alankara Shastra. So in this shloka here, same thing, Acharya this is a very pretty long shloka with a different total chandas or meter. He says, look, my dear disciple, the greatest treasure called Brahmananda, Sachidananda, Atmananda, Nijananda, the ocean, greatest ocean of bliss. So the treasure called Brahmananda, the treasure called the bliss, the real bliss, is totally covered, protected by a large king cobra with 3 heads. The king cobra called ego with the 3 heads. 3 heads represent sattva, raja, tamo gunas. So a large king cobra with 3 heads called ahankara has covered completely the treasure called Brahmananda. So with the help of what he says, Vijnanakya Mahasina Dhyutimata Vichidya Shirshatrayam. So look, my dear disciple, with the help of Brahmajnana, the sword called Brahmajnana, the sharp, shining sword called Brahmajnana, if you cut asunder the three heads of the snake called Ahankara, the three heads representing Sattva, Tama, Raja, what happens? The snake called Ahankara, ego, will die, and you possess the greatest treasure, everlasting, never exhausting, eternally present, without any change, the treasure called Brahmananda. So that is the example and the simile Acharya is using here. So who can do it? Vijnanakhya Mahasina Dhyutimata Vichidya Shirshatrayam Nirmulya Ahim Imam Nidhim Sukakaram Dhiraha Anubhoktum Shamaha. Dhiraha Anubhoktum Shamaha. That is the keyword. So who can do this? Only Dhiraha. Dhiraha. Dhira means here not just brave, literal sense. Dhiraha means the one who is dead serious in his spiritual sadhana. The one who is a Uttama Adhikari. The one who devotedly follows the Ajna of the Guru, devotedly follows the order of the Sadguru, and then continues the sadhana, spiritual practice, with all Shraddha, Bhakti, devotion, and belief in Guru. Only such a person is called here Dhira by Acharya. Only such a Viveki, such an aspirant, such a serious aspirant is called Dhira here. And only he, with the grace of the Guru or with the grace of the God Almighty, can reach the source of the reality. He will know his own reality. He will know his natural state by the grace of Guru when he cuts off the ego factor, Ahankara. And then he goes beyond Tamoguna, Rajoguna, and Sattva-guna. His mind becomes purer and purer and purer, and it goes even beyond Sattva-guna. When it becomes Vishuddha Sattva, like a prism, a transparent prism, total desireless condition. The mind is really pure. The mind has become totally witnessed. It is under complete subjugation. All these words, only words I can use, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm talking, whether it is really entering into our hearts. Even I myself doubt sometimes. I have no idea at all. But Acharya is kind enough to put all these points across so that we can go on. We can go on, do the sort of contemplation, reflection upon these things. That is why sometimes people say, Viveka Chudamani, the magnum opus, the treatise written by Acharya Shankara Bhagavad-pada is so difficult because it is so difficult to understand, even difficult to recite, difficult to even explain. Because everything Acharya has put all the essence of Upanishads, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Brahma Sutra Bhashya, what he has written, Prasthanatraya, all those points are, completely churned and then introduced here in this, what we call pot of ambrosia called Viveka Chudamani. It is so difficult. See, there is a famous saying in Vedanta. Durlabho Vishayatyaga. Durlabho Vishayatyaga. Durlabham Tattva Chintanam. दुर्लभो विषयत्यागः दुर्लभं तत्त्वचिन्तनं दुर्लभा सहजावस्था सद्गुरो कृपया विना दुर्लभा सहजावस्था सद्गुरो कृपया विना दुर्लभा means it is almost humanly impossible. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಷ್ಟ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟಕರವಾದದ್ದು ದುರ್ಲಭ ಯಾವುದು ವಿಷಯ ತ್ಯಾಗ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಬಿಗಿ ಹಿಡಿಯೋದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಷ್ಟ ತತ್ವಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಷ್ಟ ದುರ್ಲಭೋ ವಿಷಯ ತ್ಯಾಗ ದುರ್ಲಭಂ ತತ್ವಚಿಂತನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಷ್ಟ ದುರ್ಲಭೋ ಸಹಜಾವಸ್ಥಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಜವಾದ ಇರುವಿಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥಕೊಂಡು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿ ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದನಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಕಷ್ಟವೋ ಕಷ್ಟ ದುರ್ಲಭಂ ತತ್ವಚಿಂತನಂ ದುರ್ಲಭ ಸಹಜಾವಸ್ಥಾ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯ ವಿನ ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿನ ಕೃಪೆ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಇವು ಯಾವುದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ವೇದಾಂತ ಈ ಸೂಕ್ತಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸುಭಾಷಿತ ಸೂಕ್ತಿ ಸೇಸ್ ದುರ್ಲಭ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ದುರ್ಲಭೋ ವಿಷಯ ತ್ಯಾಗ ದುರ್ಲಭಂ ತತ್ವಚಿಂತನಂ ದುರ್ಲಭಂ ಸಹಜಾವಸ್ಥಾ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯ ವಿನ ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗುರು ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸದ್ಗುರು ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸದ್ಗುರು ರಿಸೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮ it is so difficult to give up Vishaya Chintana, Vishaya Tyaga. It is difficult to remain desirous. It is difficult to stop the mind running behind objects, running behind materialistic things, running behind all the desires to be fulfilled. All the time desires sprouting. I want this, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want this, I want that. So this Vishaya Sukha, our indriyas want so much and then still it is not satisfied. Whole life we run behind these sensory, sensual, lustful objects in life and we run behind making more money, thinking that the more money will bring me all the desires to be fulfilled. Whatever I want, I can get it. So dullabha vishayatyagaha dullabho dullabham tattva-chintanam. Still it is difficult to contemplate on spiritual aspect. To contemplate on God itself is not possible. Tattva Chintana is not possible. Entering into the philosophy is not at all possible. Durlabha Sahajavastha Sadguru Krupaya. And still to remain in your natural state, in your original pristine state of Atma Swarupa, to be realized, to be enlightened is still more difficult. It all can happen by the grace of Sadguru. Sadguru Krupaya Vina Durlabha Sahajavastha Durlabha Tattva-chintanam Durlabho Tattva-chintanam Durlabham Vishaya Tyagaha. That is how the Sukti says. With Sankalpa, today we are stopping, I think, at the Shloka number 301. Negation of Ahankara or ego. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om.
Sir. That was the beautiful shloka that you brought up in the last few minutes, sir. Durlabham vishayatyagaha durlabho tattva-chintanam durlabham sahajavastha sadguru krupaya vinah.
Yes, Sadguru Krupaya Vinah. Everything is Durlabha.
I don't know where to begin.
Really.
But only pray for the last part, Sadguru Kripaya Vinah. So may the grace of the Sadguru be upon all of us as we undertake this journey.
We all pray. We all pray. Sarve Janaah Sukhino Bhavan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing us
Hari
to
Om.
the door.
Hari Om.